and what your role is there?
Yeah, of course. So Grabyo work in the B2B SaaS space. We're a cloud video production platform. I've been here for about 7 months, 7 or 8 months, as their digital marketing manager. When I arrived, we didn't really have much by way of data to kind of go from. And my role was kind of building that up to make us more data-led, and really start to build that lead generation engine at the middle of the funnel for people that were already engaged with systems similar to ours, or those that were just kind of in that exploratory stage as well. So yeah.
Perfect, thank you. And then in terms of, the challenge or the problem, or how you came about looking for Lead Onion, what was that main challenge that made you kind of think, well, we need to invest in a provider like Lead Onion?
Good question. I think it comes back to that data element at the start. So we didn't really have too much by way of like figures on total addressable market. All that kind of research is incredibly expensive, and changes year to year. So you could put 30,000 into getting that information, but it's going to be redundant in a year's time. So one of the early things that we looked at doing, I've used data intent platforms before, like Terminus, that kind of thing, for account-based marketing. It was incredibly expensive, which put me off somewhat, but I saw the need for it if we were going to start segmenting our audience. We're quite light on resource in our team. So if we wanted to make the biggest impact in terms of lead generation, it was important to get to those people, those quick wins that we could identify for, I don't know, people coming to our site, people engaging with particular keywords on social topics, basically everything that's in Lead Onion's kind of arsenal. But I think the difficulty for us when assessing a platform like that was there wasn't one platform that did it all. As I mentioned with Terminus, it was only looking at certain aspects of that, and that was predominantly geared towards account-based marketing. So I think Lead Onion really kind of broadened our horizons in terms of what kinds of intent we could identify.
Yeah, perfect. And it's really great to hear that, because that's exactly what we've set out to do. We are the only provider that put it all under one roof, from your intent, your web intent, social, public, topic, your reviews, if you've got that in there, and obviously the search functionality as well, along with some new features, which we're excited to show you next week, but I won't give too much away.
Looking forward to it.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's great that you found yourself with Lead Onion, and you've been having some good success kind of since implementing the software. If you could just tell me a bit about your Lead Onion journey. So from onboarding, your original package that you started out on, and how has Lead Onion been the solution to that channel overall?
Definitely. So obviously the onboarding process was incredibly simple from our side. It's pretty much what you see is what you get. So we didn't really need too much training on that front. I think more often than not, it was just we were using too many credits in the early days. We kind of got a bit too excited. But I think once we started to bed in with the product, had the more data behind it to say these are the kind of companies that are coming to the website. These are the kind of companies that are looking for live video streaming, for example, which is something we might pursue. We could start to take a more measured approach. And as a result of that, we quickly realized that while we were pumping out all of these outreach email sequences, that kind of stuff to the people that we were downloading, there are also a lot more people that we couldn't get because we were only limited by the credits that we had within the system. So we certainly saw so much value in it in terms of the lead numbers that it was generating, to make an upgrade a necessary requirement. And from a results perspective, we kind of grouped these kind of outbound email initiatives. So the information that we get from Lead Onion in terms of like email addresses, accounts, that kind of thing, into one kind of bucket within Salesforce, and we're reporting on it. and that's actually gone on to be to make up the biggest proportion of lead numbers at our company. So while I can't tell you the numbers, you can rest assured that it is contributing to be the biggest contributor of MQLs across every region at the moment. So that's really positive.
That is really positive, and also really positive for your role, right? Digital marketing manager.
Definitely.
Oftentimes is a tough role in any company. So to have a tool that really helps you on that journey is really the feedback that we love to hear at Lead Onion, that it is making somebody's life and their role and the results so much more tangible than what it would be if you were off, you know, trying to prospect in so many different places to try and get the right people at the right time with your messaging, because it's a big piece of work doing outreach, from, you know, email marketing, from sales outreach. You know, there's so much that goes into it, and, you know, being able to come into Lead Onion, see the companies that are, you know, showing all of those levels of intent. I know you guys also increased your topics as well. You know, to have all of that in one place, to say these are actually the people within this company that I want to speak to. These are my target persona. I want to reveal these people and be able to get in touch with them and to start marketing to them is exactly what we want to see. So it's really, really great that you've given that feedback, and I really, really appreciate it.
Definitely. I think just to add to that as well, particularly with the topics, one thing that it has unearthed for us is when we're looking at particular buying cycles of companies. So, you know, you might look at sport and say, well, they're more likely to buy at the end of the season when they're not as busy with the matches. I can't go explicitly into what sector I'm referring to, but it's informed us with the topics in particular what we should be talking about in our messaging. So for a football team, for example, it might be like live stream post shows or something like that. We can use broader keywords to match those niche terms underneath, but it'll help us inform our messaging in terms of what emails we're sending out, what kind of collateral we're creating. So it gives it a much more leaner approach overall. So we're not as much finger in the air. We're actually informed by data, which is really rewarding.
Yeah, I think that informed by data is definitely a really, really good way to describe it. And I think that the great thing is you're not limited to just one element of intent like topic, because alongside of that, you've also got social data and public data and your web intent as well. So you've got it all under one roof, which is hopefully, you know, really only the start of a really, really successful partnership, you know, across Lead Onion and Grabyo. So I'm really pleased to hear that you're having those results. Thank you so much. I have two more quick questions for you before I let you go. What would you say is the most valuable area of Lead Onion for you personally as a digital marketing manager?
To be honest, I think I'd say it's subjective. It depends kind of what tasks I've got on. I think something that we've particularly found useful is the topic intent. Obviously, we started off with 1, but since we've gone up to 10, it's really broadened our scope, our reach. You know, it's identified companies we weren't otherwise aware of, and they've been pretty responsive in the emails that we've sent out. And it's, you know, allowing us to we have 3 different products, so it allows us to hone our messaging to a product we didn't actually think would get us a foot in the door, but they're searching terms around something that we might not be aware of. So for example, in production, you wouldn't think they'd be searching for something in clipping. A lot of them are engaging with these kind of clipping topic terms. And then off the back of that, we can create outreach around those terms they're interested in, as opposed to something we think they're interested in. It's actually something they are interested in. And I think because topic is quite a broad category, it often gives us more people to go after. You know, we don't have the volume to really make so much out of the website intent. I still see the value in that, but I think the topic one has really opened the door for us in terms of more companies for us to pursue who may be interested in something we weren't otherwise aware of, which is a really, really helpful insight for us.
Perfect. Thank you. And I couldn't agree more. It's like a little secret tool.
It is, yeah.
Lead onion. You just have to dig really deep to find it. But I think once you unlock the capabilities of topic data, it's really powerful. So great to hear you're having that success. And the final question, Jack, is what would you say to anybody who's considering using lead onion or buyer intent data?
I think increasingly as a digital marketer, it's a necessity if you want to make informed decisions in what you do. While you have a lot of research and all that kind of stuff, that's only a snapshot at one point in time. The beauty of lead onion is that it's ongoing. You have a constant view of it. You might have, I don't know, I can't think of a good example off the top of my head.
Okay, we won't put you under pressure.
No, I think it's just that ongoing nature of it, to be honest. You're not paying outright for something that's going to be redundant in a year's time. And I think that speaks volumes when you're measured so highly on return on investment. Something like a single piece of research, you can't really attribute a direct ROI to it. But with something like Lead Onion, you're downloading these leads, and then you can attribute it to that particular campaign as the source campaign. Obviously, we're going to like multi-touch attribution. It's a bit more complicated, but I think it's the value that you get over time with Lead Onion that I think is just as valuable as any piece of research. It's like an ongoing piece of research, really.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And that is a really good piece of advice for anybody who's considering buyer intent data. So thank you so much for that, Jack, and thank you for your time. Really, really appreciate it.